Hello, everyone. So, welcome to this YouTube channel. um, I have a mission, I want to be your virtual friend. I know it sounds weird, parasocial at its best, but I've been in situations in my life when I self-isolate on purpose, and I think the introjects in my head start telling me that like I am alone, and like it is what it is, and it is like it is, and all these negative things that are not real, but I cannot tell that they are negative thoughts. They seem so real. And this is the consequence when you had a very, let's say, traumatic childhood. And I think if you have seen enough videos about trauma, you you would know that trauma is not necessarily something catastrophic, something um, obviously traumatic, but a feeling of abandonment, not being seen, not being reciprocated, being screamed at, being someone's sponge back when you were defenseless, like you were when you were a kid. This is, and this is especially you see this in PTSD, complex trauma responses, when you have been subject to this constantly over and over and over. Anyways, this video, it's called "Your Family It's Toxic and That's Okay." And funny enough, I made already this video, but the audio was trash. I don't know what happened to it, so I'm recording again. Let's see if I can channel the the cosmic consciousness. But here we go. Your family, if you grew up in a family who is toxic, maybe you have fall into the pattern of trying to bring them back, trying to fix the situation, still being attached to them and take the punches and take the whatever they throw at you, but resisting because it's family, and blood is thicker than water. That's kind of what we say in my language. Blood is thicker than whatever. So my mom is disrespectful. She is self-centered. She screams at me. She's my biggest, and it's not that I say my mom, but like a hypothetical mom. She is my biggest hater. Let's say she just gives me all these critics, these things, and I take it because she's my mom. And of course I react in a way. This is hypothetical, but the point is that sometimes we fall into these situations and we just don't, we try to fix it, and we spend most of our lives doing that. And my message to you about it is that sometimes when you accept that this is the case and you stop trying to fix it, and you try to love them from a distance, and you try to love them and respect them without bending over your own boundaries and over your own dignity, there is a peace that comes with that. Really think about it. So I'm going to give you just my story. This is my story, and it's very interesting because I don't think I realized I had a toxic family at all. I just was born and grew up without being necessarily seen and pretty much abandoned. But this kind of abandonment then in modern society doesn't look like abandonment. She is with some babysitter, or she is at least in the daycare alone, but she's sort of not abandoned in the street, so it's not abandonment. But in many ways it is, right? Regardless, I grew up with all these circumstances that were normalized, and I found myself trying to fix my family. Anyways, I was saying that I was spending all this time, and this family member didn't really appreciate or respect it, and I felt I felt like I had to try harder, and I felt to also lash out at them, right? I was like all hurt and stuff, and I was trying so hard to be understood, seen, writing paragraphs of things because it is family member, right? And this person would not get it. This person would gaslight me. This person would just find excuses. And funny enough, this was a mirror of my relationships. I was like, this started looks like when you try too hard in a dating situation, right? When you're trying to explain things, when this person is evasive, avoidant, hot and cold, and there you are fixing it. And I was like, anyways, the moment I had a beautiful situation, because I was with this family member, and then I was with this friend, and this friend was so open to me, so giving, so caring, sacrificing it all, and this family member was, just living their lives and being like, this person is a woman, but is like acting like a fuckboy, like, oh, I'm sorry, I have too many commitments, I'm a free spirit. Anyways, the point is, I had this realization, and I was like in the plane, and I realized I don't think I can fix these people, and I don't want to try to fix them. I love them because they're family. We have shared somehow things, but I think I'm going to choose who I want to invest in, and I think I want to invest more in these friendships that are reciprocating than my own family. And when I decide that, a huge weight was lifted from me. And my message to you is that your family is toxic, and that's okay, because you can choose the people who you want to invest in. There is people who want to invest in you, like emotionally, and there is people who are waiting for your light. There is people who cannot wait to see you, who respect your time, who enjoy your presence. These people exist, they're around you. And I have experienced this when these people are around me. But and especially in this trip when I was with the family member and with the friend, and I had this eagerness to just invest again in the family member. I'm like, but let me convince them, let me go there, let me stay there, let me spend time with them. And my friend was a little neglected, and I was like, this is my subconscious trying to make it work, making work what I associate as irrationally as that I need to fix. So the moment you accept that, even if it's family, and even if it's supposed to be, like, you were raised to believe that this was your only source, is not your only source. This is my message to you. Family is not the only source of love, care, mirroring, unconditional love that you have. It's not. I used to think it was. Sometimes they presented as if they might be. But it's not. And my advice to you would not be cutting off your family members, actually. I don't know, depending on your situation, but I would say you could love them from a very good distance, a very respectful distance, respecting yourself, respecting them, and investing only what they invest in you. Like, that changed my mindset, because that started to change at every other aspect in my life. So I didn't have to be so worried about my family members, and I didn't have to be worried also in my love life. If this applies to my family member situation, what about my love life? And I think that's a danger on following on these narratives of hating the opposite gender and being so obsessed. And I understand it's a dangerous place for women, but you cannot live, or I would not advise you to live in a world where you just distrust anyone. That's not even logical, because I feel like, as there are people who are very dangerous, I guess, there's also people who can be very generous, very full of light. I do believe that. I have experienced that, and I'm pretty sure you too. But you should be focused on both equally, and sometimes there is a danger in being completely obsessed with threats. So regarding love life, I realized, what if there is some love that situation that is not working? I mean, it doesn't have to be a person per se. It could be you trying to date, and every time you date, something goes wrong. It maybe it's the places you date, maybe it's the places you go. I mean, the apps, which are very much full of predators, and I have to make a video about that. But maybe it's there's a flaw in the way you select potential dating mates, but you cannot see it, and you rather outright that as they're all pigs, patriarchal pigs, or whatever you want to say. And it's a very interesting realization when you when you observe that you deserve more, and these options of deserving more are around you. I want to make more emphasis in this love life, but I also want to make emphasis in the working life. That also changed me a lot. In work, this was even bigger. But I think I overcame the work situation faster than other per interpersonal situations, because in work, the KPI, like the results are so obvious. Money. If I'm getting money, it's going good. If I'm not getting money, it's going bad. Like, it's easy. But I guess I was attached to many narratives in the other situations, so it was easier to indulge in them with any resolution that was positive from me. For me. But going back to the work situation, of course, I grew up in it, as we all, in this toxic idea that jobs are the ultimate, goal. Like, you work hard and you study hard, so someone can choose you and employ you, basically like in love life. Someone can choose you and employ you and see how good employee you are, and then maybe for their mercy, you're gonna be, if you make enough effort, you're gonna like raise your salary and all these things. And the truth is, I was indulging that for a bit, but I had very clear standards of money. I have very clear standards on financial goals I had. And that's a kicker for me, that you see, I had examples in YouTube, hence why I'm here. When I see people making money doing the dumbest stuff. So these things broke my idea of, hey, maybe it's not who works the hardest. Maybe it's who's smart, who's observant, who can see the opportunities. And the point is, everything starts thinking you deserve more, thinking you deserve what you want. Some people are very greedy. Some of us just want what we think we deserve. That is pretty much fair, right? And it also depends on your values, your non-negotiables in your life. My non-negotiable is freedom. And every time, because I love to travel, I love to live all the layers of life, a very backpacking thing, luxury travel, I do all of them. And the moment something holds me back regarding, there's nuance to this, I know, but regarding schedules or giving my time or overworking some things, I start to raise the bar, and I'm like, hey, and this is the thing, I have found the craziest jobs, most profitable, craziest jobs. I don't want to say most profitable, but it's pretty good, it's pretty free, and they have a downside, that is, you have to have blind faith and full trust in yourself, because I'm an entrepreneur. I will tell you about that. But it pays off in a way that I will not have to sacrifice my freedom for these kind of things. So it's really eye-opening, and everything starts just me thinking, I deserve more. Everything improves or goes easier when you say, I deserve more. If you feel like you deserve more in your relationships, with your family, just start with that guidance, with that inner guidance of, I think this is what I want. Write it so it's clear. And don't engage with anything that doesn't flow in that sense. And it's very difficult, I know. If you have to cry with me. Because it's very difficult to see that you have family members that you love and you appreciate and you grew up with them, and really want you want them to see you, want them to listen to you, want them not to judge you, not to be your worst enemy, right? You don't want them to criticize you. You don't want them to sabotage you. You want them to cheer you up at the very least. And if that's your bar and they're not meeting it, you have to have this sort of compassion on, hey, you know what? You're not meeting it, and there's not much discussion around that. You're just not. But I cannot say I'm going to be here for you with all my heart, with all my openness, with all my energy, because, it's not a smart investment, judging by your behavior. But what I can say is I'm still present the moment you want to change, and I'm going to move and invest in people who are more open, who are more reciprocating, who are more available for my growth. And I think the key is to believe that these people exist, and they exist, I swear they exist, but your nervous system is so used to feel uncomfortable, to reject them, to be suspicious of them, that you outrule them very early. and you don't really follow up with the obvious lead of people who are open. I have done that in the past. I have to, I mean, let me tell you a story very quick. Once I was in a party and I met a girl, and she was like, "Oh my God, this," and I was kind of alone in that country where back then, and she was like, "Let's exchange Instagram," and she was really trying to be a friend, and I could not engage with her. I just felt like I would rule it completely. I thought it's gonna be a waste of time. I cannot engage in this. Like, I have so much to do. I'm obsessed with this. It was not even making me productive. But the point is that I would rule her very early with no reasons, valid reasons to do so. And I always justify it in a way. But looking now, it's like, and didn't even give her the benefit of like the screening, right? Are you someone who reciprocates? Are you someone who shares my values? Are you someone I never even try, and that was very interesting to me, because I think when humility and being down to earth gives you the power to realize when you're making mistakes that are detrimental to you, that you're sabotaging yourself. But anyways, this is getting a little long and I have to go. But remember that you can, if you feel you want to talk, you can book a session with me. I'm going to leave a link in the description. You can talk to me about anything. It's always good to have support. And if you feel like you need another perspective, I'm here for you. So have a nice day and bye-bye.